All right, back to our regular schedule. Dad bod 19, starting with deadlifts, 3 doubles with 385. Moved really smoothly. Happy with that. And then next week will be singles with 405, if you'd like a little preview. So that'll be the heaviest I've gone in quite a while. By quite a while, I mean about a month. That's basically how I have the deadlifts set up right now. It goes higher volume, lower intensity to lower volume, higher intensity, kind of standard, but I'm doing that basically on a monthly cycle, every fourth deadlift session. And those sessions are 8 days apart. Every 32 days ish, I'll be hitting a heavy deadlift. And I've talked about the diet quite a bit. Decided to go a little bit more aggressive for the next few weeks, just so that I can speed this up and move back into progressing on the powerlifting movements. So my weight as I'm recording this morning was 189.8, which is the lowest it's been in a while, but quite a bit of that is carbs, so muscle glycogen, water. So I'd say I'm down probably 2 pounds from my starting weight of about 194. But again, I'm going to go pretty aggressive for the next few weeks just to basically get this over with. I'm just going to make sure to keep protein high, and since I'm keeping this cut pretty short, I'm not really risking too much muscle loss in that time. So I'm not particularly worried about that. And I'm going to lower volume on the training just a little, just since my energy will be a little bit lower. Don't want to overdo it. So I will be combining my lower body days with calf training instead of putting that on the accessory day. And then I'll be throwing in lateral delts on upper body days. And haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do for arms and abs yet. They may end up getting thrown in on a separate day, and they may end up on my upper and lower days. So I may throw abs at the end of my lower body days, and I may just throw in arms on upper body days. But I need to see how long these training sessions take first with the lower volume. But we'll figure it out. Don't need to keep frequency too high. It's pretty easy to maintain muscle, especially just for a few weeks. On to barbell bench here. Just 2 sets of 6 with 190 because this was a deload week. And then my next session, I'm going to go back into somewhat heavy bench because I'm already feeling pretty recovered, but the volume will be lower. And not going to necessarily go by the dad bod program here because I'm at the end of it anyway. And like I said, I'm going pretty aggressive on the cut. So just trying to do enough to maintain my strength and size for a few weeks. And I realized that showing my training during a maintenance phase for 3 weeks or so is not the most exciting thing, but dad bod is already repetitive. That's kind of the point. To progress on these movements, I just have to do them a lot, but I need to be in a surplus, and I don't want to get too much heavier than I am right now. So it makes sense for me to lose a few pounds and then go into a planned surplus and make actual progress. And like I've said many times, I'm especially focused on bench press. I really just want to improve it. I know I'm capable of improving it because I have in the past. And even then, I was below 190 pounds. So it just takes more frequency and a bigger surplus for me to improve that particular lift. It's always going to be a little behind the other two, just based on my structure, the way I carry muscle mass, and that's just how it is. But I can do everything I can to at least beat my previous self or beat my current self. So that's why I'm doing things the way that I'm doing. And moving forward, I may put my weight in the videos too, at least an average weight for that little 4-day period, because most of these dad bod episodes are showing training from 4 days at a time. Like I said, my frequency will be lowering, so it's going to be about 2 training sessions every 4 days instead of 3. But I can still use that same template. And you're kind of getting a preview of what my upper body days are going to look like for this short period on this day. Since it was a deload, wasn't too worried about volume, so I did 2 sets of bench and then just 1 basically one big drop set for these push ups. So I did push ups with my feet elevated, standard push ups, and then push ups with my hand elevated. So from hardest to easiest, somewhere in the range of 8 to 12 reps. And I think after the first set, I rested probably 10 or 12 seconds before the second. Then after the second, I rested probably closer to 20 seconds before the third. These rest periods are sped up, but that's roughly how long I rested. So pretty quick for me. And by our Alabama standards, it has been very cold this week. It has been below freezing in the morning when I'm doing these training sessions. So it's high 40s in the garage. And what I do when I get up is get up, grab my coffee, go out here, turn the little space heater on, and hope that it warms this area by at least 5 degrees or so. And that's usually the case. So it's high 40s, low 50s out here while I'm training. Usually by the end of the session, I'm still warm enough to take off the hoodie. But yeah, you're seeing my second back exercise of the day, and still really love this exercise. Still gonna add it in. All right, day 3, accessory day, which will be getting eliminated for the next 3 weeks or so because I'm just gonna throw these accessories onto other days. Although I could see my abs still getting thrown onto a separate day. I said earlier in the video that they may get their own day, but I don't think arms are going to get their own day. They're just going to be thrown on to my main training sessions. And triceps and biceps could even be split up. I may end up putting biceps on leg day and triceps on upper body day. Again, it just depends on how long these sessions are taking because time is always part of what helps me make my decision with my training. I just don't have a lot of extra time, but making it work and loving the home gym more and more and thinking of little things to add. Like I've said in the past, I want to add a mirror. I've got a little light above the banner up there, and it has been very useful so far. So it has a magnetic back, so I can just move it wherever there's metal, and it helps for lighting these videos. It's Ulanzi brand. I just saw an ad on Instagram, and it was pretty cheap. So you just blow it up. It doesn't hold a charge very long, so that is one kind of negative thing about it. But overall, it's been great, and I love how compact and mobile it is. So I'm going to use that light for lighting my calves exercises. It doesn't look like I did on this day, but I have on a couple of them, and I definitely did on the next calf training session. So you'll see that in the next video. This one I've got the long pants on anyway, so doesn't matter much. And it looks like I did straight sets with one drop set at the end for calves this time instead of one big drop set. I don't have super specific programming for the calves, just want to make sure I hit them frequently. Um, and they seem to have grown even since I started the Dad Bod series, so happy with that because I'd gone a long time without really training them regularly. Seems like it doesn't take a whole lot to at least improve them. And we're into lateral raises next. Actually took time to load the dumbbells this time. And I do like dumbbell lateral raises. I just don't like having to load these dumbbells. I have to load 4 plates, 4 collars, and it's just annoying. And like I've said, I don't have a ton of time. I have time to load these dumbbells. Just don't like doing it. So that's something I'm going to have to work around and work towards improving about myself. But these went well. 3 sets of 8, 30 pounds each side. Just try to really control the negative and use as little traps as possible, but they are going to be involved no matter how hard you try to keep them out of it. And here's my little version of bicycle crunches, just a more intense version where you never really get any relief. Abs are definitely on fire at the end. But not much more to say about this episode of Dad Bod 19. As always, please like, share, and subscribe if you liked it, and don't if you didn't. I appreciate it.
Scott, you like that? He was like, I was going to do this. As a reward for the hard work of 6 week starvation I put myself through. 6 weeks? Some goddamn genetics right there. I'm out here doing 16 weeks and shit, 26 weeks, I'm still fat. I weighed in just 48 hours ago at 2.
Usually in this, I can delay my cooking and they take for a bit longer. Infinitely long, but for the level of leanness and the time frame I'm aiming for.